Hello, and welcome to this video tutorial of Omni usage beta version 0.5.1. My name is Peter Jakubowski, and I am pleased to welcome you to experience this exciting new piece of software that we've been working real hard on and is now ready for preview. So wherever you are an employee of OmniCorp, a external contractor, or one of our limited testing customers, we're happy to have you here. So the first thing you're going to want to access, assuming you, of course, have downloaded it, is Omni and Omnific. These will be provided to you by one of our representatives, and I would suggest putting it in the bin folder of your system. It's optional. You can place it wherever you like, but that's generally my recommendation. Now, the system we're going to be working on today, this is a completely simulated environment. Nothing you are going to see is actually real. It's all 100% a mock environment set up by our QA team. So anyway, let's get started here. We're going to open a terminal. And of course, the first thing you're going to want to do is get yourself licensed to essentially use Omni. So you can run Omnific, and of course, if it's in your bin folder, you can just type this in. If it's not in your bin folder, then of course you'll have to go to wherever you placed it. So you can now see that we have got access. If you don't yet have your own crypto wallet, then you can run this command here, and it will prompt you to create it. You can also use the public wallet application that everybody knows. It's completely your choice. So I'm going to enter my wallet ID. Again, this is all a simulation. None of this is real. And you can either enter your PIN or you can enter your password. If you enter your password, it's going to simply look up your PIN. If, of course, you want to be secure and make sure that you don't expose your password, you can just give it your PIN. Okay, and it's going to require the PIN every time you authenticate. So I'm just going to use this password that we have in this environment. And now if for some reason you want to have a custom sub wallet name for using the Omnific coin, now is the time to specify it. But as it says here, if you do want to use your free trial, just leave it blank. So I'm going to leave it blank. And then it's going to ask me for a password. If you want to be secure, you can essentially use your sub-wallet password as a second factor of security. You don't have to. It's always going to use your wallet to authenticate, irrespective of whether or not you actually have a sub-wallet password, right? So it can be a second factor or not, or not. So in this case, since this is not a real environment, I don't care, and I don't have a secondary password set. So when you're here, you can now, of course, see, you can buy a license, you can spend your coins, install one. So I'm going to opt for the free trial. Gifting coins is just for sending coins to different accounts if you, for some reason, you want to or need to. So, as you can see now, I have been granted a license, and you can see that's been written here. One crucial thing you're gonna want to remember as well is that before you run Omni, you really should be reading the getting started documentation on this website here, omni-doc.vercel.app, and you're gonna need to access that, of course, in outside of the GrayNet systems. But that's got a more detailed overview of ensuring your environment is prepared essentially. All right, so I am effectively ready to go here. If you buy a license, it's currently at the time of writing good for 5 days, and of course this trial is good for 24 hours, but it's good enough to get me going. So I'm going to run Omni, and what we should see is it's going to initialize its database, and it's going to pull all the latest library information, but it only does that once. So we're going to let it go. And you can see it flying along there. Excellent. And that's it. We're in. So this operation is a one-time one-time deal. It's initialized it. It never needs to do it again unless you delete all its files or something like that, right? But you can see now we are in the system. Omni has taken care of downloading meta exploit for us and crypto.so. That's obviously ensured because we have a repo set up to download those, so Omni can maintain it. And we are effectively ready to go. So what I'm going to do here is just give you a quick list of commands. You can run help at any time, right? And this will show you all the commands that Omni has with very brief help information. If you want to look deeper, I strongly recommend going to the Omni documentation. It covers all this in much more depth, and you're going to get a lot more use out of that documentation than you are this tourist help. It's really, these are just reminders. Okay, so we're going to take a look at a system here. The QA guy set up for us in this virtual environment. We're going to say, I believe it was 1.1. I think it's all ones, in fact. And you're going to see that it's now identified a number of exploits, right? So it seems that we have the ability to disable firewall on the edge router they have there. We can get we can probably bounce into an internal system here. We can also get a file handle, but it's guest privilege. And it looks like there's some website running. So, gee, thanks a lot, guys. I was hoping you guys would give me something juicier here, but that's okay. We can continue with this this effective simulation. So, unfortunately, these are relatively limited in their functionality, right? But our QA guys, they set everything up properly. So we're going to hop into this system here, and now you can see that we're in a system, and there is this user account here. So in this particular case, probably makes the most sense to try and get a remote shell to him or something along those lines. So we're going to get his email. So we have his deck command, right? And you have A, B, C, and D. You can also alias these with numbers. So for example, I'll do deck 4, and it's gonna give me the guy's email. It's gonna decrypt it, decipher it. So now, of course, you know what we can do here. So I can go to my mail program, and of course, you know the drill, right? You're gonna take the email, you're gonna copy that, paste it in, and this is obviously some social engineering. In this case, this is all computer simulated, so this is always going to work. So we're going to send to our AI victim here. Now, here's the issue, right? I need an R shell server, obviously, right? I'm not going to be doing anything without that. So what we're going to do here is we're going to pop out. And we're now back at my my system here, but I need root on this system, so I'm gonna give myself root here, because obviously I can do that from shell. And I want to set up an R shell server on my system. So there we go. That's as easy as that. Now I just need to open up the port. So we're gonna access the router we have on this network. It's about 8080. Yeah, great. And we're gonna add a port forward here. It's gonna be 1222. 1222. By the way, this is just for demonstration purposes. I don't recommend running an R shell service on your own system. You can if you want, but I don't recommend exposing yourself like that. Anyhow, we now have it set up, so I can grab this IP address here, and hopefully, if the QA guys got everything right, which I'm sure they did, and I have the utmost confidence, we can drop back out and we can run SHLS. And there you can see it. Fantastic. That's exactly what I was hoping for. So I'm just going to go ahead and close that and close that. You can now see that in our shell list, we have, well, root shell to my own system because it remembers that. But we have this user account here that's on the 1.1.1.1. So we're going to get into it. And as you can see, here we are. We are now dropped into this target system, right? So let's just do a quick nmap. I want to demonstrate that. So you can enter any private IP and just dump the whole network. So what do we see here? We have SQL on this system. Now I could probably quite easily get the root access on this system. I don't think they protected etcpath. No, it's not protected. Okay, so you can just run su and it will give you root. That's all it takes. You're now the master. Alternatively, though, let's say for some reason it was missing, you could pour through these libraries, right? So you can run a hack and it's going to analyze everything. And at the end, you get a big ass list of everything that it can let you do. There you go. So we got change of password. That's going to say unknown because the API for meta exploit doesn't allow the code to figure out the user that's being changed. So, for example, if I hit this, it's going to tell me, right? The API it prints it out for humans to read, but the Omni code can't actually get access to this. This is directly this is bypassing Omni, unfortunately. So if we set a password here, it's then going to ask me, okay, what privilege level was it? Well, I can see that it's for a regular user, so I'll press B, and now it knows that that's changing the password for user privilege level. Great, got our exploit identified. And you can see obviously there's a bunch of other stuff here. So we got shell hacks and all kinds of stuff, right? But anyway, the point is we now have a root session, and I can look at what's called the S chain here, and you can see that at the top we obviously have where we are. Below that, there was a shell that's user privilege level, and then finally is just my system there, right? Now I can push onto that. So if I want to look up shells I currently have, and let's say I want to go back to my system as root. The shell list always stores the best privilege level for a given system. Always. Who cares about lower privilege levels? So now if I show you the S chain, it's now pushed that on top, right? And you can switch between them, right? So if I want to go back to let's say the user level in the chain, there you go. Now I've moved back here, and I'm in the context of this. I could copy files, whatever. It's in that it's running as it. In fact, let's demonstrate that, right? Let's do. I'm gonna put the chat file, and it's downloaded. Cool. Let's go look in File Explorer, chat362.log, and it's just some. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, I guess they picked the QA guys clearly gave me a bit of a threat to follow here, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure we got time for this today. Anyhow, so yeah, that's the demonstration. That's going to get you started. A couple of key points just to remember is either launch Omni in an empty directory, or in my case, I've just done it in my home dir. Make sure you don't pollute this the libs folder or the attacks folder. Tasks obviously is for you to set up tasks. We're going to cover the automation in a subsequent video, let's say. Okay, so that's not coming in this one. If you got any questions, you know where to reach out on the internal corporate bulletin board system, and that should cover everything, right? So thank you all for watching, and I hope this gives you a good introduction to Omni. Thanks again. Bye.